So, hey everyone, welcome back to the AstoundCast, episode 70. Oh God, 70.
It's okay, you
I
got
want,
this.
I,
It's okay.
I, uh-huh. I'd love to say it's 77.
You are correct.
My God, that is an absolute miracle. Yeah, I have no idea what today's title is going to be. I've got to be honest.
Don't worry, I'm sorting this.
Brill. Oh. Oh yeah, this feels right.
There we go.
Yep. This feels better. Me me having to do this was way too much responsibility. Ah,
Oh dear. Well, at least we know that I'm back in the power that I should have had for a while now.
yeah. Anyway, how has your week been?
The week hasn't been too bad, yeah. Not
Good.
the busiest, I will admit, but not the
No?
worst case scenario.
Fair enough.
Ended up
Uni and the
making like a
BBC
magazine.
been side.
Yeah, made a magazine in uni. BBC has all been tied up. One of the videos I made for them actually got on social media, so happy with that.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Also, if
awesome.
you hear like slight noises, yeah. Also, if you hear like slight noise in the background, it's nothing much. It's just the bathroom.
Okay. Coolio.
But yeah, apart from that, it's not been a bad week. How about yours, then, good sir?
Busy.
Oh, jeez.
Ve- very, very, very busy. I'm trying very hard to remember everything I've done this week. It's been that long of a week, it doesn't really feel like it's all been this week, so bear with me a moment.
Gotcha.
Went to an escape room on Monday, escaped with 3 minutes and 6 seconds remaining.
Great.
We were cutting it close.
But you did it.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna lie, at the 4 minute mark, the 4 minute remaining mark, we thought, we're not gonna do this. And then somehow one of us found one clue, and then literally all the others fell into place immediately.
Yeah.
So within 1 minute, we went from, nah, this ain't happening, to, oh my God, we did it!
Good job.
Like,
Good job.
the evolution was real, and it was quick. Anyway, after that, college on Tuesday, I am still not quite finished with Microsoft Excel, but it is close.
Yeah. How long have you been stuck on Excel anyway? How long is even a module on Excel?
As long as it takes.
Which for you, it
It,
seems like a day and an age. Not gonna lie.
yeah, it's taking goddamn forever, but I'm hoping to get it done incredibly soon, so I can whiz through Microsoft PowerPoint, which I really think will not take me very long.
I think PowerPoint you're gonna ace through.
Yeah. And then Wednesday I had a haircut for the first time in, granted, a bit too long.
Yep.
Thurs Thursday, Thursday. I don't think I did.
Yeah,
I
that's the
think
day.
Thursday was just hibernation day. Um,
Hibernation is a very productive day.
Friday. Oh, absolutely. Friday was much the same. Yesterday I had a friend's birthday party on the Wirral. That was fun, like a lot of fun. Came back earlier on today. And then that's it. Yeah, I also have managed to now finish Halo Combat Evolved.
Yay!
Um,
That seems a little early on the schedule. You said April 15th. Unless that was for all the games.
Yeah, yeah. But Combat Evolved somehow ended more traumatically than Halo Reach.
Okay, come on,
I
you
don't.
gotta give spoilers.
Okay, well, um, of course the Covenants continued on into this game, but there was a new enemy introduced called the Flood,
The
and
Flood?
my the Flood, and my God, they are terrifying.
Uh, how so?
Basically, they're these. Well, I say little parasite things. They're actually quite big. They're about ankle height. Um, basically, they attack their target and turn them into zombies.
Ah,
Basically, it's Halo zombies, for lack of a better term. Um, and at first, you're fighting a bunch of covenants that have been turned into Flood, and then not long after that, I discovered I'd actually killed a UNSC Marine that was turned into one.
oh no.
That broke me. Although I would say they had a very tragic use.
Oh
Ammo.
no.
Ammo.
Ah,
Yeah, they were very handy for ammo, but something I've discovered about the Flood, they don't always end up killing their target.
oh
Some, sometimes
no.
the target is still alive. Yeah. And, well, towards the very end of the game, something really traumatic happens. Um, Captain Keyes gets caught by the Flood.
No.
Yeah, and then you need his neural implants to reactivate the Pillar of Autumn. Um, well, I say reactivate it. You need it to blow the ship up because that's the only way you're getting rid of the Flood off of the Halo ring. And Master Chief he accomplishes that task by
Yeah.
punching through his skull.
Ah.
Yep. Thankfully, the camera turns away. It turns towards Master Chief. Thank God. But yeah, the Flood are absolutely terrifying. I can't lie,
Yeah.
because the they make the Covenant and the Marines stronger, and the raw parasites. Oh my God, they are so fast.
Yeah.
You have got to keep a very close eye out, because they whittle through your energy shields and health like nobody's business if you don't find them. So yeah, Combat Evolved was a really good game to finish, but the last level was just stress. Basically, you succeeded in getting ready to blow up the Pillar of Autumn, but you've now
Oh.
got to drive a Warthog, which is the Halo Jeeps, through the ship and out of there before it goes kaboom and kills you as well. However, the Warthog controls, and frankly, every other vehicle in Halo, the controls are janky as all hell.
Oh.
Right, are you ready for this? um, left stick controls your acceleration and reverse.
Yeah.
Not awful, not awful. However, your steering is based on the direction of the camera.
No. Oh, I hate
Yep,
when that
yep. It
happens.
sucks. It sucks. And by the way, that was a timed mission. Yeah, it was 5 minutes on the clock, and me and my friend from Sheffield, it took us 3 attempts. However, we did learn a very neat trick. At one point during the escape, the clock stops because the Pelican, Fohammer, who's been picking you up and dropping you off throughout the game, comes to pick you up one last time, but is shot down. And Cortana says to stop while that happens because you're going to get picked up. However,
Yeah.
I realised something. I said to my friend, "Hey, can we still move while this is happening?" And he said, "Yeah." And I said, "We can move." And the clock stopped. Go, 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 go. So that
Mm.
saved us quite a bit of time on the second attempt, which did fail by only a couple of seconds, which was really annoying. And on the last attempt, it managed to get us out. But there's something really annoying about that final stretch. The
Yeah.
final 100 meters you've got to do on foot.
Oh, that actually sounds painful.
Because there's a bunch of immovable debris blocking the warthog, so you have to jump out very quickly and, well, walk as fast as you can to the ship. Because, fun fact, they removed sprinting from Halo Combat Evolved. Yeah,
Hmm.
they removed sprinting. I was not impressed. But yeah,
Yeah, that doesn't
overall,
sound too good.
Halo Combat Evolved was a really good game. The Flood are now haunting my nightmares. Ugh. Honest God, they are
Oh dear.
really terrifying. Like, I wasn't even expecting them either. I just, I was just in the 8th mission, I think, and then I saw a marine helmet lying on the ground, surrounded by a bunch of this goo, and I thought, ugh. And then we played his helmet cam, and then discovered the Flood. And then we discovered them in person.
Oh.
Yeah, because then they tried to kill us too. It was, yeah, it was not fun. Um, but I'm hoping to start Halo 2 the back end of this week. As of course, for most of this week, I'm in Cardiff.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah, but I am quite looking forward to something in Halo 2. Um, they made dual wielding a thing,
Oh.
and my God, do I need that? I mean, I mentioned when I finished Reach that I could go through a full 600 bullet rifle in about 3 minutes. Granted, you
Oh yeah.
can't dual wield a rifle, which is really inconvenient, but every other weapon you can dual wield.
Yeah.
But yeah, my only complaint so far is the vehicle controls, because the vehicle controls I described for the Warthog is the same for everything else, including the flying vehicles, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Which, yeah, it sucks. It isn't great. Um, like I came up with a much better system in like 2 minutes. Granted, I based it completely off of Forza Horizon 5, but it works. Right trigger, accelerate. Left trigger, brake slash reverse. Left stick, steering. Done.
Yeah.
Because like that is super easy and is basically based off of every driving game ever.
Hmm.
But yeah, that last mission was the definition of stress. I would not recommend it to anyone who has problems with that because it is, yeah, not good.
Yeah.
But Halo
Well, you
2,
did it.
yeah, but I am really looking forward to Halo 2 because I have heard it is like the very early peak of the franchise.
Yeah. How many more games do you have?
Well, I've got all of the main series games, so I've got Halo, well, the entire Master Chief Collection, which encompasses Halo Reach, Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3 ODST, Halo 3, and Halo 4, plus Halo 5, and the most recent one, Infinite. So I've got all the main series games.
Okay.
There is a couple of others. The Halo Wars 1 and 2 and Spartan Assault, but they are very, very different gameplay wise. Like the Halo Wars games, real time strategies, and Spartan Assault is a top down shooter, which really aren't my types of games. So I think I mentioned this when I started Halo, but I'm going to see how I got on with the rest of the franchise to see if I would be willing to put in the time for them.
Yeah.
But up to now, I'm planning to finish the main series, so all those games I've just listed that I've got, by mid-April. And honestly, at this point, I think I can do it. Like the April 15th AstoundCast, get ready for a full Halo rundown.
Yeah.
Because I believe that's when we scheduled.
Definitely.
That's roughly when we figured this out, wasn't it? When I would finish.
Yeah, April 15th. I've got that in my diary.
Yeah. So I do think that by then I will be able to talk about the full main series. You know, I can't remember if I mentioned this last week because I have discovered now I would be spoiler free if I watched the Halo series
You should be.
because it's set for all the games. So I might give it a watch soon, but I also came up with a bit of a better concept for that. Instead of doing what they're doing with it, which is quite interesting, each game lasts between 10 and 15 missions. Here's an idea. Make 8 series and make each episode a mission.
Oh yeah.
Boom. Like, all the missions take about an hour, which is probably the standard runtime. So you've got between 10 and 15 episodes per season, and it's adapting the games perfectly. Boom.
Hmm.
But of course, considering how revered these games are, that would need to be done very carefully and very correctly.
Oh, true. They have a
Yeah,
lot of things they could get wrong.
they would have to iron that one out perfectly. Like from what I've heard, everything up to Halo 4 is like God tier. But then beyond then, in terms of the fandom approval, it kind of takes a dip. But I'm waiting for my own judgment on that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like, I know fan approval of Halo 4, 5, and Infinite is mostly low, but again, I'm just waiting for my own personal opinion to form on that. Like,
Yeah.
but I already know there is at least one win in Halo 5, and that's Nathan flipping Fillion.
Okay.
Like, there's a win right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, Combat Evolved was a good game. I'm just really looking forward to Halo 2 now. And then I've just got to remember, because on the main menu for the Master Chief Collection, it's got Halo 3 and Halo 3 ODST. But Halo 3 ODST takes place during Halo 2. So I've got to remember to play those in the other order. Oh, and we have a voice
Yeah.
message, probably from Gabby. Yep.
So much for adding me up. Sounding episode 77, lucky numbers, but not a lucky time. Well, Friday the 13th will always be remembered of the day when the Knights Templar were herded up and burnt at the stake. Hence why George Lucas came up with Prime Directive 66. It's when all the Knights Templar were herded up. Knights Templar being the Jedi, of course. And also at the same time Friday the 13th, because it was a Friday the 13th on the day they were burnt at the stake. My lucky number is number 9, and it always has been number 9, because in the Far East, number 9 is a number of wealth, fertility, and good fortune. And I hope you're well, Cam. And I'm still waiting for you to do a scoop with me, my auditor. I'm still waiting for you to interview me whenever you got the time.
What a hell of a fact.
Yeah. As for the interview, it's mainly down to like university stuff at the moment because they have to get a form filled, and then it's really weird because yeah, I'm gonna have to go on a bit of a rant about university at the moment. So we have like critical investigation, and with our critical investigation, we have to fill out this form. The main issue is my teacher has yet to give me the form. We are supposed to be filling all of that in class. And then once that's given, it takes a month for it to process. And the issue is, for the university, I'm not allowed to start any sort of interviews or any sort of that sort of process until that form has been like fully confirmed. So I think about like this week. So any of my research I've been doing on my topic at the moment, and then I shouldn't be doing that, but I'm doing it anyway because it's. But interviews, I am really sorry, Gabby. It's just I'm physically not allowed to do it until that form is being completely filled out and then given. And they won't give us the form, nor will my teacher even think about doing it, because apparently it's a fiddly process. But it's a form. How fiddly is it supposed to be if they've had to do it every other year?
Well,
so
fingers crossed
that is
you'll
the main
get it
reason why
soon.
I'm really sorry.
Well, fingers crossed you get it soon.
Yeah, I'm guessing right now they're probably gonna, like, my bet now is they're gonna do it in April, end of May, and they're probably gonna do it in April. They're gonna get it like fully submitted, and then in May I'm gonna be told, yeah, no, you can come start. When my hand-in date is like 2 weeks after May starts.
Eesh. That is not good.
If it's not like fully finished by March, I am probably just gonna start with interviewing because I can't leave it for that long.
No. Anyway, should we move on to this week's motorsport section?
Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna stop ranting.
I've got to be honest, there isn't too much to go over this week. Of course, as I've mentioned a couple of times, the Formula One grid is now set. A lot of the cars have done their shakedowns around tracks. A lot of them seem to be going around Silverstone.
Right.
But a lot of their cars have been shaken down now. Mercedes did have some teething issues on their first run. Namely, the fact that they low-key didn't put the engine in properly and it was shaking the car.
Oh.
Yeah, just got another quick voice message.
Well, I start my new job tomorrow, my auditor and Cam, and it's my third job this year. Yes, you heard right. Third job this year. The first job I had at the start of the year was working for Apple, which was terrible. The second job I had was working in a bar. That was extremely terrible because it was just long hours doing jack squat. And now I'm working for TUI, the travel agents. I'm working from home, doing between 37 to 45 hours a week. Mind you, at 35.5 grand a year, plus pension, plus health package, plus gym package, plus then they paying for my internet, they paying this, that, and everything. Who else is going to complain? Anyway, I'm listening in. If you want me to come up, just ask.
No, I wouldn't be complaining about that either. Whoa.
Yeah.
But yeah, so most of the cars have done their shakedowns now. But yeah, Mercedes done goofed and put the engine in wrong, so it was vibrating the car. Yeah, it was not good. They had to do it again Thursday. So yeah, that first run didn't go quite to plan, but all the other cars seem to have gone perfectly, pretty much.
Oh yeah.
Nothing else has developed on the Mohammed Ben Sulayem situation. I think that is probably over now, unless he really, really, really puts his foot in it somehow. Don't know how he would at this point, but yeah, he might find a way. We're gonna find out. um, of course, preseason testing starts this weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, as I said yesterday. In the AstoundCast news for this week, and I think in my F1 video. But yeah, the Daytona 500 is also tonight, and this year I'm switching driver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Chase Elliott is no longer my driver because I've realised he is sponsored by somebody I'm not particularly fond of. Hooters.
Okay.
So I'm switching allegiances to NASCAR 7-time champion Jimmy Johnson. I seem to like 7-time champions a lot.
Why is it 7-time champions for episode 77?
Yes! But yeah, I'm backing Jimmy Johnson, who's returning to NASCAR for the first time since 2020, because he did initially retire to go to IndyCar. However, um, Jimmy Johnson and IndyCar didn't mix. However,
Oh,
Jimmy Johnson and crashing in IndyCar mixed very well. Some might say
yeah.
a little bit too well. He crashed quite a lot. Although I can probably chalk that down to him never really racing in open-wheeled cars. Because some NASCAR drivers have even done tests for Formula One. Jimmy hasn't. I know Tony Stewart did like a car swap thing with Lewis Hamilton back in 2012. So Lewis got to drive Tony's Chevrolet, and Tony got to drive Lewis's McLaren, and Jeff Gordon got to test the 2003 Williams at the end of 2002. But Jimmy Johnson never had an F1. Well, he did do something a couple of years ago with Fernando Alonso. It was like a single day where they did the same thing as Tony and Lewis. Fernando got to drive Jimmy Johnson's Chevrolet, and Jimmy got to drive Fernando Alonso's McLaren. But neither of them did particularly well. I mean, Jimmy Johnson did okay, except for the fact that his helmet was being blown off his head by the downforce and the wind.
Ouch.
Yeah, so they had to strap it down a bit tighter. Like at one point, he said his microphone was by his eyes, so not good, really. But yeah, I think I can probably put down Jimmy's lack of success in IndyCar to his lack of experience in open wheelers. Like, once he gets back into a stock car tonight, he's probably going to feel right at home because, much like his entire previous NASCAR Cup Series career, he's in a Chevrolet again, so he should feel right at home.
Should
Hopefully. Probably. And I love how
hopefully,
he's
yeah.
just switched his I love how he's just switched his racing number around. He used to drive the 48
Yeah.
for Hendrick Motorsports. Now he's with Richard Petty Motorsports and is driving the 84. Literally just took the numbers and said, whoop, switch them around, and there we go. Because unfortunately for him, the 48 is still with Hendrick. Because unlike in F1, the drivers don't choose their number.
Oh, right.
They just get thrown into whatever car their team has available. So like, you can sign up with your team if they want you, but in terms of what car you're gonna drive, you can't choose.
Yeah.
You've got to pick whatever you're given. Unlike in F1, where you can actually choose your racing number, provided it isn't already taken, like Logan Sargent. Because Logan Sargent found out that Daniel Ricciardo wasn't going to be in F1 this year. and was hoping to go for the number 3 because that's the number he's had throughout his career. However, Red Bull stepped in and rehired Daniel as a reserve driver, which meant the 3 was taken still.
Yeah.
So Logan had to settle for the closest number possible, 2. Because, of course, number 4 was already taken by Lando Norris, and number 1 is reserved for the world champion. Like, that's the only stipulation with numbers in F1. You can only pick the number 1 if you become world champion, and even then, that's optional. But yeah, the Daytona 500 starts tonight. I'm not entirely sure what time. I've got to be completely honest. I'm trying to think of any other motorsport news that's come out this week. Oh, there's been a bit of a war of words between Otmar Zafnauer and Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso has never been one for, keeping the peace with
Oh dear,
anyone.
what's happened?
Oh, you see, whenever he leaves a team, he just tends to take very, very subtle jabs at them. And he was pretty subtle again, but not subtle enough for Otmar to not notice and jab straight back.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's going to be a thing now. But I was going to say the Alpine launch. They did a reverse Red Bull. And they didn't do it well because, yeah, they did the launch, pretty much the launch of the livery right at the start, but then they just revealed the exact same liveries again. Just with a little less paint on. Like, I was comparing it to last year's livery, and I thought, that's the exact same livery, just with a little less paint around the engine cover. So, yeah. Well, at least all the launches are over now, and we can just look forward to pre-season testing in a few days. Which is really weird, because it seems so long since the 2022 season ended, but now that we're getting closer and closer to the 23 season starting, it's now seeming like not as long ago. Which is just nuts. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I was going to try something this week, but there was something stopping me. I'll get to that in a minute. F122, they've done something. They have actually added the 2023 Alfa Romeo for you to try.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. And there's been a couple times this week where I thought, you know what? I'm going to give that a go. However, something has stopped me. Now, I've got to ask you a question. When your PS4 died, what specifically happened?
That is a good question, because I wasn't there to see it die.
Ah.
But I know it's to do with the disk drive not reading discs anymore.
Okay, that isn't what was happening to me. Okay, this is where it gets a little weird.
Uh-huh.
The last few days I've tried to start the PlayStation. The PlayStation is switched on, but it hasn't been connecting to the TV, so I haven't been able to obviously see the interface. But
Yeah.
all my dad has had to do is switch off the power to the TV, not even unplug anything, switch the power back on, and it came back.
Yeah.
And, well, as I've had my PS4 for about 5 years, which is what I believe you had it for, alarm
Yep.
bells were starting to ring. I was like, oh God, please God, no, 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 no. But thankfully, Mum seems to have fixed it for now, although that fix is indeterminate because I haven't actually turned it on since she made that fix, so I'm gonna have to keep you posted on that.
Yeah, please do. It'll be a sad time when it goes.
Yeah, I'm low key tempted to start backing up a few of my games just in case.
Back them all up. Trust me, I've had like my PlayStation
Yep.
3 break on me two separate occasions. I cried when I
Ouch.
had to replay my games three separate times.
Eee. um, but yeah, I'm gonna start backing them up just in case, because I know it would have been 5 years this last Christmas. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just gonna keep an eye on it, and I'm gonna start backing up the games over the next couple of weeks just in case. um,
yeah.
well, but hopefully it muscles on through for a little bit longer.
It should do it. It can be a resilient console.
Yeah, just hope it's resilient enough, because I will admit, over the last few months, well, since I've got the Xbox, haven't used it that much. I haven't really, so yeah, I'm just gonna have to keep monitoring it, and I am gonna just slowly back up my games over the next couple of weeks, just in case it does die on me. Which is gonna suck because uh I might have to start Star Trek Online again.
Back it all up. Come on.
Yeah. Um
Although, if it's online, like online playing rather than
yeah, it should be fine, shouldn't it?
yeah, if it's an online thing, it'll save to a server. Just make sure that you have the exact same logins for that sort of server.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Star Trek, I was gonna say there's a couple of things I forgot in my Picard video on Friday. Or was it Saturday? It's always weird because I'm recording them on Friday but releasing Saturday. Yeah. Um but I forgot a couple of things in the video. Um well, I mentioned how I hate Captain Shaw's guts. Like that has not changed in the days since. Um and there was something that made me smile from ear to ear. Um in the 10 forward bar from season 2, there was
Yeah.
the Eagle Moss model of the Enterprise D, which I
Oh.
also have.
Ooh.
And I recognized it as the Eagle Moss model because it was on the exact same stand. And I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, oh my god, oh my god. Yo! And then, the disrespect. The bartender of 10 forward, who is no longer Guinan for some reason, well, Riker asked her, why so many Enterprise Ds? Because she had a load of Enterprise D models that I think she was selling. And do you know what she
Yeah.
said? No one
What?
wants the fat one.
I'm sorry. What?
She said no one wants the fat one. To the former first officer of that ship. And I
How?
was like, fat? Excuse me? Like, nah, I was like, no. I was as unimpressed as Riker. Like, I could just see his face, like, excuse me? What did you say about my old ship?
Yeah.
Like, he was ready to throw hands at that very moment.
No, I don't blame him.
No, and something else that I didn't mention, which I really, really should have, it would appear that Riker and Deanna are going through a bit of a rough patch in their marriage.
Oh.
Because Jean-Luc said to Will, sorry I have to drag you away from Deanna, and he said, honestly, Jean-Luc, Deanna and Castra might not mind the time away from me right now. And that
Oh.
line hurt on an emotional level. I was like, Ow. Ooh, okay. Ouch. Like that was physically painful to hear. I thought, oh God, what's happened? But it is also making me wonder what's gonna happen when Deanna does show up later on this season. Because we do know that Riker is in this for the long haul. So what's gonna happen when she shows up? Why wouldn't she mind the time away from him?
Hmm.
I can't lie. There's a part of me that just really, 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 really doesn't want to know. Like, really don't want to know, but I know I'm going to be finding out in the next few weeks. Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh, and I just remembered in my little like rundown of all the ships that I saw in the Starfleet Museum, I did get one of them wrong. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah, very easy mistake to make because they were quite similar names. I said the USS Enterprise A, got that right. The Excelsior, that was correct. But I did say the USS Defiance. I was wrong. It was actually the Reliance.
Yeah.
So, kind of got that wrong. And there was another Star Trek Online ship. The USS Pioneer, which was a Pioneer class, which debuted in Star Trek Online in the original series era campaign. So
Oh,
there
yeah.
is yet another Star Trek Online ship, but I am also a little bit worried about the Enterprise F.
Yeah.
Well, you see, um, they said in the show that it is due for early decommissioning, very soon. However, it of course makes its appearance in Star Trek Online. We've still got 7 years to go.
Oh.
So, I don't quite know what's happening there. Either the Enterprise F will get decommissioned and Star Trek Online will be decanonized, which will suck. Or it's going to be a fake out. They changed their lines. They changed their minds last minute. The Enterprise G is nowhere near ready, and they decide to keep the Enterprise F on for a few more years, which would keep the canonicity of Star Trek Online semi-intact.
Okay.
So, yeah, that initial line about it being decommissioned, I was like, huh, oh God, oh no, 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 please God, no, 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 no. And I did notice something, also when Picard and Riker were boarding the Titan, and it did take me a minute to realize, but Riker was actually wearing a uniform from the game.
Oh.
It wasn't the main uniform, so that's why it took me a minute to recognize it. But I think I realized it just as they entered the bridge. I was like, "Hey, wait a minute! I know that uniform." It was like an instant realization of, "Oh my God, that's an STO uniform! Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh my God!" I nearly died.
Oh,
It
jeez.
was just amazing. It was amazing to see that they'd actually not that they've just brought a ton of ships in from the game, which is still insanely cool, but they've also started to slowly introduce the uniforms. Because
Yeah.
the main uniform in the game, called the Odyssey uniform, we don't know when it was actually brought into circulation. I don't think it's ever been given a circulation date, so we could potentially see it at some point during the season. Although, given how frequently Starfleet changes their uniforms, you never know. They could have only just brought it in when the game started. Yeah. Starfleet and uniform consistency don't go hand in hand. Like, at all. Like, I swear to God, every single new show at the minute is bringing a new uniform with it, which I can kind of understand because at the moment, most of them right now are in completely different time periods. Like you've got Strange New Worlds just before the original series, and it is doing that pretty well. You've got Picard heading towards Star Trek Online, but isn't going to get there due to it running out of seasons and it still being 7 years beforehand. And then you got Star Trek Discovery all the way in the 32nd century, like way, way, way out from anything else.
Oh yeah.
So at the minute, I can kind of understand the inconsistency in the uniforms, but if they start bringing out shows that are a little bit, closer together, they're probably going to need to consider that a little bit more. But of course, until that time comes, they don't really need to worry. But
Mhm.
also, there's something that's been bothering me since Strange New Worlds finished.
Oh yeah.
To this very day, we still haven't had the soundtrack for season 1,
Oh.
which is damn unusual. Like, I know Discovery, season 4, their soundtrack released like a few days after the end of the season. Well, no, actually, they released it in 2 parts. They did an episode 1 to 5 and then an episode 6 to 10. So theirs released like as soon as they could, but Strange New Worlds still hasn't been released to this day.
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah, and low key a little bit concerning. Like, I'm really hoping it gets released before season 2, because I know the release order for this year's Star Trek is Picard first, obviously, and then fairly closely followed by Strange New World season 2 and then Discovery. So I'm not quite sure when season 2. Google.
Google.
Google for the win.
If in,
Star
if in
Trek.
doubt, Google.
Blah, 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 blah. Phone's just having a fit. Give me a minute.
Don't worry, your phone can have as many minutes as it needs.
World season 2 release date. Okay, we have no official release date as of yet, but production has finished.
Okay.
So it is ready to go.
Yep.
Oh, I got all excited for a second there. I thought I saw the release date, but then I saw it said 2022, and I thought, oh, that's season 1.
Oh.
I was like, oh, there's a mate. Oh, it's 2022. Never mind. Ugh. Okay. I found an article that may give me something. Nope, never mind.
Sad times.
So we know that out of the main live action shows, Star Trek Strange New Worlds is releasing second out of the 3. And I say live action shows because, well, Strange New Worlds announced something pretty quick. After the announcement of Captain Kirk, that they're actually doing a crossover with one of the animated series, Lower Decks.
Ooh. That's
And
really
I've got
cool.
a few, and I've got a few questions. One, how is that gonna work? Lower Decks is animation, very much in the Rick and Morty style. And then you got Strange New Worlds, which is live action. Is one gonna go one way and one go the other? What's gonna happen?
Yeah.
And not to mention, there is gonna have to be a time travel element involved because, well, Strange New Worlds is pre-original series, and
Yeah.
Lower Decks is post Star Trek Nemesis, over 100 years apart. So
Hmm.
there is going to be a time travel element involved, whether it's the Enterprise goes to post Nemesis or the crew of the Cerritos comes to pre-original series. And again, which one's going to go into animation and which one's going to go into live action. Like, is Lower Decks going to get the live action treatment, or is Strange New Worlds getting the animated treatment? Like, I'd love either way. I'd be all sorts of fine with either. I just want to know which way it's going to go, because that was confirmed pretty quickly after, because I know Captain Kirk got leaked, and then a couple of days after that, they said, yeah, that was all part of our plan. Yeah, Captain Kirk's in season 2. Yeah, we totally meant for that to happen. Whoops. And a couple of days after that, they just dropped the Lower Decks thing as well, and they were like, oh yeah, by the way, Lower Decks Strange New Worlds crossover. That's happening.
Yeah.
And that's been breaking my brain ever since, over those two very simple questions. Mainly the animation live action one, because I just don't know which way I just don't know which direction it's going to go in. Judging by the fact that it's going to be a Strange New Worlds episode, I'm going to guess that it's going to be Lower Decks getting the live action treatments. At least I guess. Although,
Well,
I am going to be interested to watch like the next season of Lower Decks to see if they reference it.
Yeah.
Because I know Temporal Prime Directive is a thing, but the crew of the Cerritos really do not give a damn about Starfleet regulations.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they'll be under strict orders not to talk about it, and they'll be like, no. We're going to talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
we met the crew of the Enterprise. We're going to talk about that.
Yeah, that's an important thing.
Yeah. So, I am really curious to see how that goes, because two very tonally different shows as well. Like, Strange New Worlds is your typical Star Trek, but Lower Decks, much like the animation, is very Rick and Morty-like, comedy-wise. So, again, I'm also curious to see how they mix in that regard.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's a bold move. It's a very, very bold move. Like, I will admit, one I never could have predicted or even thought of as a possibility. Like, Lower Decks and Prodigy, because they're both animated, yeah, that would have made sense, but Lower Decks and Strange New Worlds, very curious to see how that goes, but again, that all depends on the actual release dates of Strange New World Season 2 and the soundtrack of Season 1. Like, I don't know why, but that's just really troubling me that they still haven't released it.
Okay. Well, yeah.
Because I think now that Picard is wrapping up, Strange New Worlds is going to be like the flagship Star Trek show. Like, I know Discovery was the original in this new era, but in terms of popularity, Strange New Worlds has completely outshone it. Like, massively. So I do think that going forward, once Picard's finished, Strange New Worlds is going to be the flagship of Star Trek. And the fact that they haven't released the soundtracks of the first series, with only the second being months away now, is a bit of a head scratcher.
Yeah, that's a bit of a... Yeah.
I mean, did someone just forget to hit publish on Spotify and iTunes?
Kind of
Was it that simple?
like when... Yeah, kind of like it when we
Or
forget to press upload onto videos.
yeah, like I'm just wondering in Paramount, they're just wondering, hey, did you release the Strange New World soundtrack? Yeah, I did it months ago. Oh, God. Like, I can fully imagine that situation coming up at some point before the release of Season 2. Like, someone's just going to say, hey, wonder what happened to the Strange New World soundtrack? And someone's like, what do you mean it's been out for months? And then they check their logs and they're like, uh-oh. Oops. I done goofed. Like, I'm sorry, if someone has made that mistake, they are so fired.
Oh yeah, that would... It'd be a weird way to get fired though. It's like, hey, I forgot to drop this Hot Fire mixtape.
Yeah, and I've got to be honest, it's a damn good soundtrack. Like, specific pieces of music I've wanted to be hearing, I've had to go back to the specific scenes to listen to them. Like, there's this one moment in episode 5, the Federation's making some negotiations with a species called the Rongovians, and eventually, the Rongovian ship flies the Federation flag, and the original series theme plays.
Oh.
And my God, when I say I cried, I thought, oh my God,
Oh.
that's Star Trek. That is the Star Trekiest Star Trek I've seen in ages. Because don't get me wrong, Picard and Discovery are definitely Star Trek, but this one reminded me of the Star Trek of old. Like, it reminded me of the original series. Like, and hearing that soundtrack just felt right. And the fact that they haven't released the whole soundtrack yet is just really bugging me.
Oh.
So hopefully, at some point before season 2, somebody in Paramount's going to realize, oh hell, we forgot to release the soundtrack of season 1. Go, go, go.
I mean, they'll find
Yes.
out one day.
I mean, I've started commenting about it on a few YouTube videos, so hopefully at some point, somebody else a bit bigger will clock on and say, hey, wait a minute. We did never get that. Paramount, what the hell?
One day then.
Yeah. But yeah, is there anything else you'd like to talk about this week?
Not particularly, no.
Huh. You know, I was gonna actually bring up something because I haven't heard anything about it. Um,
Yeah.
um, say, isn't that usually a Nintendo Direct in February?
Yes, and the Nintendo Direct was actually really good.
Wait, it's happened.
Yeah, it already happened.
Oops, that fell completely under my radar.
Yeah, no, it happened. There was
Because
at
I
least
was gonna,
a Kirby trailer and there was a Legend of Zelda trailer.
ah,
At least.
I mean, because I was gonna say, if it hasn't happened yet, we're running out of February. But
No, no, it's
when did
happened.
that happen? How long
Last week.
ago?
Long enough. Long
Huh.
enough.
Uh, whoops.
I can talk about it next week,
I
so I can just rewatch
yeah,
it for you.
like I completely missed that.
Fine.
Whoops. Um, I would just like to ask, was there any news about the Mario movie?
Nope, but there is a new trailer that has been released of like the Mario
Yeah,
Bros. As promised.
yes. I was really happy about because that music that they played during that trailer was actually the opening to the old Super Mario Bros. TV show in the 80s.
Yeah, I remember that too.
Yeah, and I thought, okay, that's cool. And
That was cool.
there was loads of people in the comments gushing about that, and I was like, oh hell yeah.
Yeah,
And
because you didn't have to hear too much
somebody,
of Chris Pratt.
yeah, but I've also seen someone on YouTube who has made the perfect start to the movie, and I'll be
Oh,
damned if he hasn't got this right.
all right.
It starts off with Bowser invading that ice kingdom with all those penguins,
Yeah.
and then we get the line of "Who's gonna stop me?" and then it goes into that. It just cuts, and the Super Mario Bros. Plumbing trailer starts.
I'm willing. I'd hope to see that.
I'll be damned if that's wrong. Like, that was just. I'll send it to you now, because, like, it was done so perfectly that
Yeah, I'll
it.
watch it after the stream. Don't worry.
How to. How the Mario. How the Mario movie should start. There we go. Sending it to you now. Like, once you watch it, you will see what I mean. Like, it was done too perfectly for it to really be wrong.
Yeah, I'll have a watch of
So,
that after the stream. Don't worry.
awesome. Speaking of ending the stream, do you want to wrap it up here?
Yeah, let's put a bow on it.
Coolio. Rightio, everyone. Thank you all for coming to the stream. If you've been watching here on stereo, please follow me at Astounding Cameron and Roxanne at Roxaruni. Or if you've been watching on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel at Astounding Cameron as well. The sub button will be just below the video title. And if you click the video title, you'll head into the description, at which point you're going to see my link tree, which contains my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Stereo, and TikTok. And below that is going to be Roxanne's YouTube and website. And that's going to do it for this week's stream, unless...
Because we never talked about cameras today, because you had a new camera update.
Oh, yeah.
The fact
Whoops.
is, the first colour photograph was taken in 1861 by Thomas Sutton, who suggested the process to
Good
create the
God.
world's first colour image.
Damn.
He was also the guy who developed the earliest
1861.
panoramic camera.
Wow. Huh.
Yeah.
And on that insanely cool camera fact, I'll see you all tomorrow with another YouTube video, and next weekend, hopefully with another stream, potentially with Rodney too, because I'll have watched Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania by then. I shall see you next weekend. Goodbye!